Hi there! On this page you'll find a lot of in-depth tutorials on how to use Journalist and leverage its AI capabilities to your advantage. Whether you own a small or large business, we can all leverage AI to help us save both time and money, and of course, most importantly, increase our productivity levels. And that's exactly what Journalist helps you do. My name is Vasco, I'm the co-founder of Journalist, and on this page we wanted to give you the ability to look behind the curtain, see how the product works, who we are and what we stand for, and again how Journalist and its AI capabilities can help you stay ahead of the curve. That being said, I'll leave you to it. Again, down below you can browse a list of in-depth tutorials on how to best use Journalist to your advantage. If along the way you have any questions, feel free to open a support ticket down below. And if you want to see us implement any new features, any new things you want to see in the product, there's also a feature request button down below. Again, my name is Vasco and I truly do hope you enjoy using Journalist as much as we did creating it. Thank you so much and I'll see you very, very soon. Welcome. So in this video, I want to go over what Journalist AI is. And the best way for me to do so is to show you what it does. So let me go here to my dashboard real quick, then go to generate articles. And you can see right off the bat that we have 4 generation modes. Now, before I even show you what this can generate, let me show you what this does generate. So going here to the history tab and then going down here and clicking on this little eyeball right here, then the eyeball again. As you can see, Journalist AI generates fully SEO optimized articles with featured images, proper titles, proper tables of contents that are interactive, in-article internal links, bolded out words, in-article videos that are relevant to what the content is about, tables when they make sense, in-article relevant images, more relevant images in articles, external links, so linking out to authoritative sources in your niche. Sometimes when it makes sense, of course, we also add bullets and here a call to action to your brand, right? So grab your gardening tools and let's get started. This is a call to action to this gardening brand, right? So what Journalist AI does is it helps you with your content generation efforts. Moreover, not only does it generate content like this with images, videos, internal links, external links, all that, you can simply click a button and post it to your integration, right? Whether that's a WordPress site, Webflow, Blogger, Journalist AI integrates with most platforms, even Zapier, right? So we can go through all these and then just click post integration or just go here and publish, all being 5 to integration. Now, again, going here to generate articles again, there's 4 modes of generation, right? You can on the mode you select. If you go to the advanced mode, you can generate up to 300 articles, right? Moreover, you can generate articles in over 150 different languages. So if you're targeting the international markets, Portuguese, Spanish, Greek, Turkish, you can generate content just like the one that I showed you before in all of these 150 plus unique languages. Now, I want to go over each one of these modes. Also, I want to go over the autoblog feature, which essentially allows you to have Journalist connected with your blog, whether that's WordPress, Shopify, whatever it is, and have it not only generate, but automatically post content to your blog every single day, every single week, every single month on autopilot without you having to worry about a single thing. But first, and also, of course, I want to go over brands, which is a very interesting feature, and some other things right here. So let's start with the generation mode. So when you log in to tryjournalist.com, go to your dashboard, log in. These are the 4 generation modes. So first one is the simple mode. And this allows you to generate content by giving it a URL and a business description, and of course selecting however many articles you want to generate and the language, and then just hitting generate, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The info you give it again is the URL and a description, and the content is being generated taking into account your URL, the info on your URL, and the description of the business you give it, right? Then we have the titles mode, right? Pretty straightforward. You give it titles, select the language of the articles, and when you click generate, Journalist AI is going to generate content based on the article titles you give it right here, right? You can have unlimited titles, right? Just need to put 1 per line. Then the keyword mode is similar to the titles mode, but here you give it keywords and Journalist AI will produce content tailored and based to those keywords, right? Again, you can select the language here and then just hit generate. Now, this is where things get fun, the advanced mode, right? And to show you how the advanced mode works, first I need to go and create a preset. To do so, I can just click here or go here to presets. But let's click here, create a preset. Now, this is where the fun begins. I'm going to minimize all these ones because I want to show you each one of them individually. Now, you of course can name your preset, name it whatever you want. Let's do test video preset. And then this is where the fun begins. A preset allows you to have so much more control over the content you're going to generate. So let's start here with base, right? You start by choosing the generation mode. It can be a business description, it can be specific titles, or can be keyword based, right? Pretty straightforward. I'll skip the brand feature for now because I'll go over this in a minute when I finish this, but just note that this brands feature is super, super powerful. In a nutshell, it allows you to connect your brand to journalists. Journalists AI learns about your brand, and we can produce high quality tailored content to your brand in your brand's voice, right? But we'll go over that before, after this, right? Now, 2, content. You can of course select over 150 different languages, right? Depending on the niches that you're targeting. Then, creativity. You can play around with this slider, and the more to the left you go, the more correct and factual the content will be. If you go to the right, the more creative and original the content will be. And of course, this sliding scale will depend on how you want your brand to come across, right? Will depend on your brand's voice. Speaking of voice, you can change the tone of voice, right? You can have the content be more funny, informal, academic, neutral. You can put here whatever you want. Then you can change the point of view. You want the articles to be written in the first person plural, first person singular, second person, or third person, right? And finally, here in this little tab here, content tab, custom instructions, right? You can give it extra instructions if you want to customize things a bit more. Now, this is an advanced feature, which I won't cover right now, but feel free to test it out once you log into your account. Then, number 3, structure. Structure allows you to set automatic calls to action to the end or to the bottom of your article. So if this is your article right here, right, there's the featured image right here, table of contents, that's the content, there's the in-article images, in-article videos, more text, internal links, external links, and then down here in the final paragraph, there's a call to action to either your products, your services, whether that's a physical product, a digital product, a consulting product, whatever it is, we'll do an automatic call to action to your product. Now, this isn't just random, right? The URL you put here will analyze the URL, will analyze the product, the offer, and make sure that once we include it here in the bottom part of the article, it is relevant to what the whole article is about, and it makes sense to include here in a seamless way. Now, the best way to learn this is just go out and test it, and you see how seamlessly the calls to action integrate in the articles. Then you can have the headings of the articles being automatically generated, or if you want to have some more control, you can set the headings by yourself. So whatever you put here or here, then the content in between these headings will be generated automatically by AI, or again, if you want to keep it all automated with AI, both the headings as well as the content in the headings and subheadings, just leave these to auto-generate, right? This is pretty powerful because you can have a custom FAQ section right here. And if you just type FAQ here and leave this blank, or you can even put questions here, if you just do like this, the AI will automatically populate every single one of these headers as well as the content in these headers, right? If you choose to write your questions here, right? These are all questions. The AI will not populate the headings, but it will populate the content for each one of these headings. So you can see the potential that this has, right? Now, let's close this off. Let's leave it automatic and skip to step 4. Step 4 is internal linking. Now, this is where Journalist AI allows you to automatically interlink posts on your site. So what does this mean? Let's say you create an article using Journalist AI, right? And you want to link out automatically to maybe some other posts that you've either created using Journalist AI or a post that was already on your site. By adding your sitemap URL here, right, just copying and pasting your sitemap URL here, every single article you generate using Journalist will automatically interlink, right, to other articles or other pages on your site, only in a way that makes sense. For example, let's say this article is about cats and this one is about motorcycles. This link would never happen, right? the articles only link out to relevant articles and when it makes sense. So this article is about cats. Maybe this would link out to cat leashes, or an article on your site or a page on your site in which the linking here would make sense, right? A relevant internal link. And you can do this and achieve this through adding here your sitemap URL, or if you want to filter it, you can just filter your sitemap. Now, if you want to dive deep in how all these work, we have individual videos on the channel detailing how these work in specific, but it's pretty straightforward. Now, moving on to external linking. Similarly to the internal linking, right? What happens here is that when you generate an article using Journalist AI, we can automatically read through the article and find the best places, right? The best places in the text and the best anchor text, the anchor text being the text you click on, right, to be sent to another site. We'll find the best place and the best anchor text to link out to an authoritative source in your niche. So say, for example, your article is about finance, right? We're going to link out to Investopedia, TechCrunch, maybe Wikipedia, right? Again, similarly to the internal linking, the external linking, we're only going to be linking out to authoritative sources in your niche. We will scrape the internet for relevant articles in your niche and language, right? And you can do this automatically if you like, or you can add your links, your external links manually here if you'd like, right? Moving on to images. It's a very important part of the article because you want to enrich the article as much as you can. We allow you to use 2 stock photo sites to populate your articles with in-article images. You can have your Google license-free photos. You can have custom images, so you can upload your own brand images and we'll only use those. Or if you'd like, you can use AI images, which in my opinion look very, very good. So we give you all these options in terms of images. Now, you can of course enable the featured image and enable or disable in-article images as you wish. Finally, moving on to videos. This again is in your article. We are going to place in-article videos in again a way that makes sense. We're never going to place in-article videos in your article if they're not relevant to what the article is about, right? And we can automate this like so. And so we will read through the article and then go on YouTube and try to find the best, most relevant video to place on the article you just generated. Or we can leave this manually and you can add your own videos here, right? That's it. You hit create preset, then go back to generate articles, go to advanced mode, select the preset you just created, select however many articles you want to generate, and just click generate. Now, pretty simple, right? And so now I want to go over the autoblog feature, this right here. But before I do so, I have to speak about the integrations because autoblogs only work with integrations. And so for integrations, as I said before, Journalist AI integrates with all these different platforms: WordPress, Shopify, Ghost, Wix, Webflow, Blogger, and even Zapier. If you want us to integrate with any other platform, just send us a message via the chat here and we can do that for you without any single issue. Now, with the Autoblog, again, what this does is if you set up an Autoblog, which I won't do now, you're essentially connecting Journalist AI with your blog, right? This is your blog or your website, right? Whether that's a Shopify blog, a Webflow site, WordPress blog, or whatever it is, let's just call it blog or website, right? And by connecting with Journalist, Journalist will automatically generate, plus it will post individual blog posts every single day, week, month. These are individual blog posts to your site, right? It's pretty powerful with a click of a button. And if we expand on one of these blog posts, these blog posts will look like just the ones that I showed you before, with a proper featured image, a title, a table of contents, in-article images, in-article videos, proper content in there, right? Internal links, external links, call to action, bold all words, tables, bullets when possible, right? Every single one of these articles that's being generated and automatically posted to your site will look like this, right? Niche specific. And if we go again, set up a new autoblog, which I won't do now, I'll just edit the one I have here, right? We can set the frequency. How many blog posts do we want to post every single day, every single month, week, every 12 hours, every 6 hours? We can do up to 300 blog posts every 6 hours. If we'd like, most times people just do 5 blog posts every single week. That's the most common, but you can play around with this, right? That's the power of the Autoblog. Again, you can set it so journalists will automatically generate and post niche relevant content to your blog, right? And by niche relevant content, what I mean is content with images, videos, properly SEO optimized with internal links, external links, calls to action in over 150 different languages. Now that's pretty powerful. But there's one more thing, which is the brands feature right here. Now, what this is essentially you're connecting journalists with your brand. What does this mean? Essentially, your brand has multiple assets, right? An asset could be your YouTube channel, your Twitter, your Instagram, your website, right? Any single thing that your brand puts out there on the world of the internet is considered an asset. And what you do is you upload these assets to journalists, right? You upload and let us know that you have a YouTube. You let us know that you have a Twitter. You let us know that you have a website. Maybe you have some custom documents that are not online. You upload them to us. Maybe you have some audio files that are not online or that are not findable online. You upload them to us, right? You upload all the assets you have, whatever they may be, text, audio, video, whatever they are, and upload it to journalists. Now, what happens here is that you are uploading all these assets, right? These are assets to journalists' AI brain. And so, because now you uploaded all these assets, journalist AI knows as much about your brand as you do, right? So think of it as your co-founder. Think of it as your second brain. So because journalist AI knows so much about your brand as you do, the content you can produce is 1,000 times better than if you didn't have the brand set up, right? It is extremely, extremely powerful, and you can only view the power this can give you if you try it out. Again, I won't test this out right now, but this is what journalist is all about. This is all it does for now. We're going to be adding so many more features, and hopefully you like what we do. Again, I'll leave a link for this in the video description. I'll also leave a link for this in the pinned comment down below. Go to tryjournalist.com, sign up, you get 3 articles for free. If you like it, then sign up for a paid plan. If not, no worries. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Right, so Journalist now integrates with Zapier. If you don't know, Zapier is an app that lets you connect multiple apps. So for example, let's say you post an article on Journalist, you connect it with Zapier, and then Zapier creates an automation that you can either post it to Google Sheets, send out an email, send out an SMS, convert it to a video and post it to YouTube, right? There's a bunch of stuff you can do with Zapier. I mean, I could go on here. The possibilities, are endless. But if you're using Zapier as an integration, you most likely already know what Zapier is, what it does. So in this video, I want to just give you a short tutorial on how to set up the integration. So first things first is you go to your integrations tab, click new integration, select Zapier, name it whatever you want, test Zapier integration, then click create. Now the integration is created. Now you just need to manage it. Click on the manage button right here and click on request access. Now, I already did this, but just click on request access and click accept, invite, and build this app. Click it, pretty straightforward. You go here to this page, and then what you do is you click on create as app, use app, and essentially what you do here is on the first trigger. So we want the first trigger to be journalist. Just type in here journalist, click this one, and you have to connect it. So, I mean, first you have to set up the event. So event is new article. So when a new article is published, then the second action can be whatever you want, but it is when new article is published, then whatever it is that you want happens, right? Click continue, then click continue, and then if, because in this case I had already done it, in the account tab right here, there's going to be a different button saying connect or saying authorize. You click it, and then a new page is going to pop up, and you just copy this integration key, right? Just copy this and paste it on that page, and you click accept, and it's done, right? Just gotta, again, copy this key and paste it on there, right? Pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it. You click continue. If we do click test here, nothing's gonna show up because we haven't generated an article, so no article found. Now, this is endless, right? It's limitless. You can do whatever you want, right? In the second action, you can do, post it to Google Drive so someone can access it, post to Google Docs, Airtable, post it to Airtable. What else can you do here? Post to all these platforms. The possibilities with Zapier are endless. I'm not able to give you all the possibilities because, again, like I said, they're endless. But I just want to record this short video because with this, right, you can leverage journalists to do essentially whatever it is you want by leveraging Zapier as well, right? Pretty cool, pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, open a support ticket. We're here to help, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Right, so in this video, I want to show you how you can add in-article videos. By now, you know you can add in-article images, but we wanted to give you the more and more ability to customize your articles. So now you can add and automatically embed in-article videos, of course, videos that are related to the content that's written here and that are in line with everything you have here. So with that being said, how do you get this done? It's pretty straightforward. You just click on the Generate Articles tab. Now you click on the Advanced mode now, and then click on either create a preset, or if you already have a preset created, just go and edit one. I'm going to edit one because it's easier now. But once you're here, right, the menu is the same whether you're editing or creating a new preset. And the tab you want to go to is the one called videos, right? Now here you can add one video per line, and you can add as many videos as you want, right? And we are going to be inserting at least one of these videos in your article. Sometimes we might insert one, sometimes we might insert 2, 3, depends on if the videos fit, because we're not going to be automatically putting out videos in your articles that don't really make sense, with the content you have there. So we don't really force the videos. At least one is going to be put there. And if we feel like, or not we feel like it, but if it makes sense to introduce more videos, we'll do it, of course, for you. Now, at least one will be introduced, and you can put here as many as you'd like, right? And once that's done, just click on Save Preset. Then, of course, go to Generate Articles tab again. Advanced mode, select the preset we just created, and then generate however many articles you want. Click Generate, and you're done. And here's how it looks like. If you go to the History tab, I created this preset a couple minutes ago and added that video, and that video was added in here. Now, I could have added more videos to the preset, and maybe if they would fit here, they would have been added here. If not, they wouldn't, but that's how it works. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and it is a feature that we wanted to roll out for a long time now, because articles need to be feature rich, right? They need to have table of contents. They need to have a proper featured image. They need to have in-article videos, in-article images. You can also add in the presets there internal links, external links. You can format the articles to have bolded out words. Calls to action, there's a lot more, but again, we wanted to give you this feature because it is something that it will enrich your articles a lot more, because video content is very, very powerful. That's it. That's how it works. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you on the next one. Right, so I want to go over what presets are, how they work. Right, so I want to go over what presets are, how they work, and how you can use them. So first things first is you go to your dashboard, go to the presets tab, and click on new preset. Now, don't be alarmed, this seems like a lot, but let's minimize all these ones and go over them one by one. So first things first is we name our preset. Let's do test preset, right? Now we can go over and open up one of these tabs individually. So first tab here, it gives us the generation mode. So as of today, we have 3 generation modes. So there's 3 ways in which you can leverage journalists to generate content for you. The business description is where you give it a description, right? And based on that description, all the content, right, of the article, from the title, the featured image, the table of contents, the H2s, the H3s, the paragraphs, the in-article images, the internal links, external links, all this, right, all the article content is going to be generated based on the context description you write here. So the more you write, the more context you give it, the better the output is going to be, right? Second mode is specific titles. So again, all this you see here, images, internal links, external links, bolded keywords, the language, the structure, all this is going to be generated based on the titles you give it, and you can give it unlimited titles, right? Pretty straightforward. Then we have the keyword base. So this is yet another generation mode, which will generate content. Again, not just what's written, but also the images, links, all that, based on the keywords you give it. And it's also going to be sprinkling in some of your keywords in the titles, in the content itself. So the article is a bit more optimized for SEO, for search engine optimization, right? So these are the 3 generation modes, and this is where you can essentially choose which one you'd like to use. So far, pretty straightforward. Now, let's click the second tab right here. This is the content tab. Now, you have 3 options here so far. You can choose between 150 different languages, right? Portuguese, Spanish, Greek, whatever you want. I mean, we give you all the languages if you're targeting international markets, if you have customers in Europe, maybe some African countries, or Asia, you can leverage journalists, and it's 150 different languages to produce content in those languages, right? pretty straightforward. Then we have the levels of creativity. This is something that you need to test with because it's going to depend on the niche. So if you want more correct, more factual articles, you'd slide this all up, all down to the left. Or if you want more creative or original content, you slide all to the right, right? Pretty straightforward, but this is again something you should test out over and over again based on your needs in your niche. Then tone of voice, this is also goes hand in hand with this little slider right here, because if you're building a bit more of a professional article, you might want to do it more formal, right? If you're doing it informal, you can do informal. If you're, you can do a bit more academic, a little bit more sarcastic. You can do a bit more neutral. You can do a bit more funny, right? You can play with this again, but we give you the ability to change the tonality of the content output. This is pretty valuable, but again, you need to test it out. But we wanted to give you that option because it's super, super, super important, right? Then, third, the structure, right? This, if you leave it like this, it will auto-generate the headings for you. And what these are, if you go here to the history tab and just view here a couple of examples, let's do this one, right? The headings in your articles are this one. This is in H2, heading 2, H3, right? H3, H3, H2. H3, H2, right? So if you leave it blank, it will automatically generate them for you. If you want to generate them custom, you can do so like this. Let's do 6 headings. So 6 H2s, 6 H3s, which is the standard, right? That's another H2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 6th right here. And each H2 by default has 1, 2, 3 H3s, right? Which is the default. We can set it up right here. If you do it like this, this is the default, right? But you might want to play around with it. And if you leave them blank, of course, they're going to be AI generated. If you just type in something like, for example, this, right? It's going to generate the H3 and the content below it based on the H2 you just gave it. So in this case, for example, if we gave it this one, for example, right here, the content, image included, right? The H3 and all this would be generated based on this H2 title we just gave it. So essentially, we're giving it a manual input. So this is how you can do that. If you want to give it more manual inputs, you can do so via the structure tab by customizing your headings, right? Then moving on to internal linking. This is where you can have some of your articles linked to, for example, some of your sites. Or, let me explain here. Let's say you go out here and this is your blog, right? You have all these articles posted on your blog about a certain niche, about a certain topic. If you set up internal linking, what's going to happen is your new articles are going to be interlinking and linking out to other articles you've created in the past. So if this article talks about motorcycles and this other one talks about motorcycle tires, it's going to link out to it and this one to that one in, of course, a way that makes sense. That's why you got to provide us with your sitemap URL, which is pretty straightforward. We have a tutorial on how to do that as well. But you need to do that so you can have context on what all your articles are, so we can make sure that we link them or interlink them, in a way that makes sense. And if you want to go one extra step further, you can filter the sitemap so that the articles that are going to be interlinked are only some specific ones. So some, for example, from a certain category, right? Again, what this will do, if you set this up, is on the content you generate, right? Let's say you just generated this article, and let's say in the past you had generated all these others, it's going to be linking out to this one, this is going to be linking out to this one, this to that one, this to this one, in a way that, of course, that makes sense, and taking into account, of course, the anchor text, which is a little text you can click. This anchor text can also be written in a way that makes sense and it is in context with the rest of the article. That's internal linking, super valuable for SEO purposes. Then external linking, it's quite similar, but instead of linking from one of your posts to another one of your posts, it's linking out from one of your posts to an external site, right? Whether that's Wikipedia, Business Insider, TechCrunch, this of course will depend on your niche. If you of course have or are generating articles on the health space, you might want to link to trustworthy health websites in your niche, right? Pretty straightforward. That's how external linking works. Then images, we have at the moment 3 types of image generations. You can use Google license-free photos, you can use unsplash stock images,
or pixel stock images. All of these are free to use, license free to use, so you can choose each one of these. If you're watching this video by now, most likely we should have a bit more because we keep on adding new features and new ways to improve the image generation. So you can choose any of these three. I would recommend you use pixels, but I mean, you can use each one or whatever you want, right? You can test this out. Then you can, of course, enable the featured image. That featured image is this one up here, which of course can be changed if you click it. And you can enable or disable in-article images. I do recommend you enable them because you will make the article much more easier to read and much more appealing to the user. And in-article images are these ones right here that show up in between your content. Finally, formatting. As of now, you can bold out important keywords. If you enable this, we're going to read through all the article, and based on what the article is about and based on the context, we're going to be bolding out important keyword terms. So super important. That's what this is for. And that's exactly how you use or how you create a preset. Now, how do you use it? After you create it, you just need to go to generate articles right here, select the preset mode, and just select the preset you just created, my preset, and then just click on generate. And the content that's going to be generated here, is based on your preset, right? Again, this one is the my preset. If you go to presets here and click on my preset, we can go through all this, right? This preset is set to generate content based on the specific titles generation mode. We gave it the titles. The content is here. It is with the tone of voice academic structure. It is all AI generated headings. There's no internal linking. So there is external linking. Images, there are featured images. There are in-article images. They're being provided by pixels. And formatting, we do have bold important keywords enabled. So again, if you go to generate articles, preset mode, and then choose my preset, the content that it is going to generate here, and I can even show you, is based on all the info we gave to the preset. So again, in our case, it's going to be based on titles, the ones you just saw, and it's going to have external links and bolded out keywords. So let's just wait for this to generate, and I'll show you exactly how it looks. And so there we go, everything you need to build a rocket. This was one of the titles we gave it. These are the featured images. You can change them if you like. The table of contents, again, is of course always based on the article. As you can see here, there are bolded keywords that are in-article images, like we just told you. There are external links. This one links to Wikipedia. There are, of course, internal links to other articles we just created. All this, again, it was based on the preset we just created because we generated the article based on the preset. And that's exactly how presets work, how you build them out, and how you can use them. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Right, so I want to go over what presets are, how they work. Right, so I want to go over what presets are, how they work, and how you can use them. So first things first is you go to your dashboard, go to the presets tab, and click on new preset. Now, don't be alarmed, this seems like a lot, but let's minimize all these ones and go over them one by one. So first things first is we name our preset. Let's do test preset, right? Now we can go over and open up one of these tabs individually. So first tab here, it gives us the generation mode. So as of today, we have 3 generation modes. So there's 3 ways in which you can leverage journalists to generate content for you. The business description is where you give it a description, right? And based on that description, all the content, right, of the article, from the title, the featured image, the table of contents, the H2s, the H3s, the paragraphs, the in-article images, the internal links, external links, all this, right? All the article content is going to be generated based on the context description you write here. So the more you write, the more context you give it, the better the output is going to be, right? Second mode is specific titles. So again, all this you see here, images, internal links, external links, bolded keywords, the language, the structure, all this is going to be generated based on the titles you give it. And you can give it unlimited titles, right? Pretty straightforward. Then we have the keyword base. So this is yet another generation mode, which will generate content. Again, not just what's written, but also the images, links, all that, based on the keywords you give it. And it's also going to be sprinkling in some of your keywords in the titles, in the content itself. So the article is a bit more optimized for SEO, for search engine optimization, right? So these are the 3 generation modes, and this is where you can essentially choose which one you'd like to use. So far, pretty straightforward. Now, let's click the second tab right here. This is the content tab. Now, you have 3 options here so far. You can choose between 150 different languages, right? Portuguese, Spanish, Greek, whatever you want. I mean, we give you all the languages if you're targeting international markets, if you have customers in Europe, maybe some African countries or Asia, you can leverage journalists, and it's 150 different languages to produce content in those languages, right? Pretty straightforward. Then we have the levels of creativity. This is something that you need to test with because it's going to depend on the niche. So if you want more correct, more factual articles, you'd slide this all up, all down to the left. Or if you want more creative or original content, you slide it all to the right, right? Pretty straightforward, but this is again something you should test out over and over again based on your needs in your niche. Then tone of voice. This is also goes hand in hand with this little slider right here, because if you're building a bit more of a professional article, you might want to do it more formal, right? If you're doing it informal, you can do informal. If you're, I mean, you can do a bit more academic, a little bit more sarcastic. You can do a bit more neutral. You can do a bit more funny, right? You can play with this again, but we give you the ability to change the tonality of the content output. This is pretty valuable, but again, you need to test it out. But we wanted to give you that option because it's super, super, super important, right? Then, third, the structure, right? This, if you leave it like this, it will auto-generate the headings for you. And what these are, if you go here to the history tab and just view here a couple of examples, let's do this one, right? The headings in your articles are this one. This is in H2, heading 2, H3, right? H3, H3, H2. H3, H3, H2, right? So if you leave it blank, it will automatically generate them for you. If you want to generate them custom, you can do so like this. Let's do 6 headings. So 6 H2s, 6 H3s, which is the standard, right? That's another H2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 6th right here. And each H2 by default has 1, 2, 3 H3s, right? Which is the default. We can set it up right here. If you do it like this, this is the default, right? But you might want to play around with it. And if you leave them blank, of course, they're going to be AI generated. If you just type in something like, for example, this, right? It's going to generate the H3 and the content below it based on the H2 you just gave it. So in this case, for example, if we gave it this one, for example, right here, the content image included, right? The H3 and all this would be generated based on this H2 title we just gave it. So essentially, we're giving it a manual input. So this is how you can do that. If you want to give it more manual inputs, you can do so via the structure tab by customizing your headings, right? Then moving on to internal linking. This is where you can have some of your articles linked to, for example, some of your sites. Or, let me explain here. Let's say you go out here and this is your blog, right? You have all these articles posted on your blog about a certain niche, about a certain topic. If you set up internal linking, what's going to happen is your new articles are going to be interlinking and linking out to other articles you've created in the past. So if this article talks about motorcycles and this other one talks about motorcycle tires, it's going to link out to it and this one to that one in, of course, a way that makes sense. That's why you got to provide us with your sitemap URL, which is pretty straightforward. We have a tutorial on how to do that as well. But you need to do that so you can have context on what all your articles are, so we can make sure that we link them or interlink them, in a way that makes sense. And if you want to go one extra step further, you can filter the sitemap so that the articles that are going to be interlinked are only some specific ones. So some, for example, from a certain category, right? Again, what this will do, if you set this up, is on the content you generate, right? Let's say you just generated this article, and let's say in the past you had generated all these others, it's going to be linking out to this one, this is going to be linking out to this one, this to that one, this to this one, in a way that, of course, that makes sense, and taking into account, of course, the anchor text, which is a little text you can click. This anchor text can also be written in a way that makes sense and it is in context with the rest of the article. That's internal linking, super valuable for SEO purposes. Then external linking, it's quite similar, but instead of linking from one of your posts to another one of your posts, it's linking out from one of your posts to an external site, right? Whether that's Wikipedia, Business Insider, TechCrunch, this of course will depend on your niche. If you of course have or are generating articles on the health space, you might want to link to trustworthy health websites in your niche, right? Pretty straightforward. That's how external linking works. Then images, we have at the moment 3 types of image generations. You can use Google license-free photos, you can use Unsplash stock images, or Pexel stock images. All of these are free to use, license-free to use, so you can choose each one of these. If you're watching this video by now, most likely we should have a bit more because we keep on adding new features and new ways to improve the image generation. So you can choose any of these 3. I would recommend you use Pexels, but I mean, you can use each one or whatever you want, right? You can test this out. Then you can, of course, enable the featured image. That featured image is this one up here, which of course can be changed if you click it. And you can enable or disable in-article images. I do recommend you enable them because you will make the article much more easier to read and much more appealing to the user. And in-article images are these ones right here that show up in between your content. Finally, formatting. As of now, you can bold out important keywords. If you enable this, we're going to read through all the article, and based on what the article is about and based on the context, we're going to be bolding out important keyword terms. So super important. That's what this is for. And that's exactly how you use or how you create a preset. Now, how do you use it? After you create it, you just need to go to generate articles right here. Select the preset mode and just select the preset you just created, my preset, and then just click on generate. And the content that's going to be generated here, is based on your preset, right? Again, this one is the my preset. If you go to presets here and click on my preset, we can go through all this, right? This preset is set to generate content based on the specific titles generation mode. We gave it the titles. The content is here. It is with the tone of voice academic structure. It is all AI generated headings. There's no internal linking. So there is external linking. Images, there are featured images. There are in-article images. They're being provided by Pexels. And formatting, we do have bold important keywords enabled. So again, if you go to generate articles, preset mode, and then choose my preset, the content that it is going to generate here, and I can even show you, is based on all the info we gave to the preset. So again, in our case, it's going to be based on titles, the ones you just saw, and it's going to have external links and bolded out keywords. So let's just wait for this to generate, and I'll show you exactly how it looks. And so there we go, everything you need to build a rocket. This was one of the titles we gave it. These are the featured images. You can change them if you like. The table of contents, again, is of course always based on the article. As you can see here, there are bolded keywords that are in-article images, like we just told you. There are external links. This one links to Wikipedia. There are, of course, internal links to other articles we just created. All this, again, it was based on the preset we just created because we generated the article based on the preset. And that's exactly how presets work, how you build them out, and how you can use them. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.
To set up your Shopify integration, you go to your Shopify store, and then you click on Settings. And on Settings, you go to Apps and Sales Channel. And here, you click on Develop Apps. Then, create an app, and you can call it any name. I'll call it Journalist, and then create app. This doesn't affect your store. This is merely for integration with Journalist. And then you go to API credentials and you click configure admin API scopes. And here you type blog and you select these two. This gives permission for the integration to publish contents to your blog. And then you click save. And once that's done, you go back to the API credentials and you click install app, install. And once that's done, you click reveal token once. And you copy it and you go and paste in Journalist. The shop name is basically this little code here on the URL. And you can also get it from here. So it's this little, short text. And once that's done, you'll be able to select the blog which you want. I'll select news, and the author name, I'll put my name. And finally, I have to give it the integration a name, and I'll do my Shopify store, and I'll click create. And that's done. So now I can use that integration.
In this video, I want to cover the titles mode. This is a generation mode in Journalist that allows you to generate content based on titles. This means that Journalist is going to generate the content based on the titles you give it. So let's, for example, start with how to make a rocket at home. or let's do, for example, can you build a rocket at home? You can even do questions or top 10 tips to build a homemade rocket, right? You can do different types of things. Again, a quote unquote standard title, a question title, and a top 10 title, right? You can, of course, also click to include in article images. We do highly recommend you do that because images do play a big role in reader experience. And finally, you can choose the language. We have over 150 languages. You can choose Portuguese, Spanish, Greek, of course, English. And let's just go over with English because it's easier to understand. And then just click on generate. Now, while this generates, of course, it is going to generate the articles based on the titles we gave it. Again, all the content, right? Let's say this is our article, and you'll see in just a second, this is the input we gave it. We gave it the title. So all the images, all the table of contents, all the paragraphs, all the headings, they're all going to be generated based solely on the title you gave it. This is a very, very good feature because you can be a bit more hands-off with the info you give to journalists. Now, we'll cover other modes in just a second here or in the next video, but I did want to show you this in a separate video because it's highly, highly, highly important. Now, again, let's just wait for this load. I'll be right back. All right, there we go. This is the first one, second one, and the third one. Of course, you can change these featured images by clicking on them if you'd like. All these are interchangeable. Again, this is one for the top 10 tips, sorry, has a table of contents as an overview. And of course, it has the tips down here. We can check this one as well. Can you build a rocket at home? A question-based one. Again, all the article, all this, all the images, they're all generated based on your titles. So this is how the titles mode, the title generation mode works with journalists. Try it out. Let us know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Here's how to add an FAQ section to any article you generate with journalists. So for example, if we open up these ones right here, click view, this is one about trees, has of course the featured image, title, table of contents, H2s, H3s as in-article images, internal links, external links. But let's say here on the footer, we'd want to add an FAQ, right? Maybe this is an article about something that we want to put on our site and want to add the frequently asked questions based, of course, on all this context from the article. So here's how we can do that. So first things first is you go to generate articles, then click on preset mode because the simple mode isn't enough for that, nor the titles mode. So we got to click on the preset mode. Now you can edit a preset that you already have. So if you have presets created, just go on presets and then edit yours, which you can do, but we can do just a new preset, going here, clicking, creating new preset. So let's call this our or my FAQ preset, right? So like I said before, you can generate content based on 3 unique models. Let's do specific titles and let's do how to build a rocket. That's our title. You can put unlimited titles. Let's just put one on here. Let's do English. Let's turn up the creativity level. Let's put an academic tone of voice. You can put anything you want here. And let's forget about internal linking. Let's forget about external linking. Let's forget about images as well. We don't want any images. I mean, we can do some images if we like. Let's not do formatting. And what matters here is the structure tab. So this is where you can add your FAQ section. So what you do is click on toggle this on, right? Let's add 6 headings, which is the max we can add. And if you leave this blank, these are going to be generated by AI, but we want one of them, at least the final one, to be generated by us. So let's do frequently asked questions, right? And we can do an H3, like, for example, it could be, or instead of me thinking about it, let's just leave it blank, right? And let's do this like that. And we're ready to go, right? So let's close this down. Let's create our new preset. And then let's go here. Of course, in our presets tab, we'll have our own preset right here. We just created my FAQ preset. Click on generate articles. Again, preset mode. Select the preset we just created, this one, and then click on generate. Now, because on this preset, we chose the generative mode for title based. So like I said before, there's 3 modes. There's the context based where you give it a business description. There's the keyword based where you give it keywords. And then there's the title based where you give it titles, and it will generate content based on those titles. So all the article right here, the title, featured image, the table of contents, the H2s, the H3s, all the content, right? all the internal links, all the external links, all that, all the little pictures here. Of course, in this case, we don't have external links, we don't have internal links, we do have images, but all this will be created based on the title you give it, right? All the generation here is going to be it's going to all stem from the title we just gave it, right? Except also, of course, the last paragraph here, the H2, is the one that we forced, right? Manually forced, right? So let's just see here, get how to build a rocket. It is the most creative title, right? But it's still here. It still is here with the proper H3s, H2s, images, in-article images. But if you scroll down here, as you can see here, this is the one we forced. We only forced this, right? This is the only one that had manual input, right? This is AI input, and this is AI input as well as the, of course, all the rest of the article up there and the images. So with this, we forced journalists to, based on all this article, taking into account all this context, and taking into account that we wanted to add an FAQ section, right? They took it into their own hands. And for example, it's really here what it says: frequently asked questions FAQ. How long does it take to build a rocket? And of course, it answers that question. Now, if you of course wanted more, so we have this H2 here, and we have the question. If you wanted more, and the answer, of course, right? Sorry about that. That's the answer here, and that's the question. If we wanted more questions right here with answers below, what we do is simply, and I'll go over an example exactly how to do it. Go to presets again. This time we can go and edit the preset, right? Click on structure, and then just add more H3s, right? Now we have 3s. Let's click save, and let's go to generate articles again. Preset mode, select the preset, my FAQ preset, and then generate the article again. Just going to wait a few seconds here. But what's going to do is, again, with the article, right, all this up top, right, it's going to be AI generated with images. All the things you see up top are going to be AI generated, except the little H2 right here, the one that we just wrote, the FAQ, frequently asked questions FAQ. This is going to be human input. Let's put an H here, human input. But then all the questions and answers below, questions and answers, are going to be AI generated. So let's scroll down here, and you can see on the FAQ, this is a little bug, should be just a second before it loads. But with the frequently asked questions, again, we added 3, right? And he wrote it for us. How long does it take to build a rocket? Question with answer. Question: what safety precautions should be taken during a rocket construction? That's the question. That's the answer, right? Can rockets be reused? That's the question. That's the answer. So that's exactly how you can create an FAQ section. Again, by going to the presets and clicking, again, I'll show you again, presets. It's pretty straightforward. Let's edit it. Go to contents or go to structure. Add all the 6, or I mean, you can add more around here. You can add all the 6 H1s. You don't have to be 6. You can add 4 or 5, how many you like. But then on the FAQ section, add all of these 3 H3s, because each one of these will be individually a question. And of course, it's going to generate the question, and then it's going to generate the answer. So that's exactly how you do it. That's how you create an FAQ section leveraging journalists. Right, so I'm going to show you 3 different AI content generation modes that Journalist allows you to use. So these 3 are the modes. We have business description, we have specific titles, and keyword based. So let's go over each one of these individually, one by one. So first things first, the business description is pretty straightforward. What we do is you'd give in as an input a description of your business, of yourself, of your startup, of whatever it is, and then Journalist will take that and build out content based on the description you gave it. And I'm going to show you here an example of how that looks like just by opening here the history tab and opening up here a few articles. Let's do these ones, for example. Let's click view. So all this here, right, with the featured images, multiple articles, of course, the title, table of contents, all this with in-article images, right, all that. This is all built based on a description you give here to journalists. So pretty straightforward. The longer and more complex you make this, so the more context you give it, the better the output is going to be, right? So pretty straightforward. That's the first mode. Secondly, we have the specific titles, right? And this is where we give you a bit more customization, right? Whereas with this one, with the business description, you could only give it a description and then all this content right here. And I'm going to open here another one to show you. would be generated based on just that context, based just on that description, like so right here. On this one, with the specific titles, you give it titles, one per line. You can give it unlimited titles, and journalist is going to take the context and of course the titles and generate content based on that. So if I were to put here how to make a rocket, right, something like this, you can do a question or top 10 tips to building a homemade rocket, or can you build a rocket at home, or how to build a homemade rocket. So you can put questions like these ones and this one. You can put top 10 tips, top 3 tips, top 200 tips, right? You can put whatever you want here, or just simple, straightforward titles. Again, journalist is going to take these, and all the content is going to be generated based on the title. So the images, the H2s, H3s, table of contents, all this is going to be generated based on the input, which in this case is the titles, right? Finally, we have the keyword based, right? And this is where you give it keywords, and journalist again is going to generate content, right? Not based on this description, not based on titles, but based on keywords, right? And again, you can give it limited keywords here for search engine optimization purposes or for SEO. You'd ideally want to give it the keywords that you want to rank for, because what journalists are going to do is take the keywords you put in here and sprinkle them throughout your text, of course, throughout your titles, throughout your H3s, H2s, H3s, and make the article keyword rich, right? So it's going to sprinkle in the keywords you give it, and you can give it, of course, unlimited keywords, and we'll generate an article for each single keyword. Now, these are the 3 generation models that we have available right now. And of course, this is just the base right here. If you open up here the second tab, you can of course have a much more or a lot more customization, right? With the base, we give you just the generation mode, and then you can customize each one of them individually by choosing different languages, enabling down the creativity, choosing the tone of voice, making the headings auto-generated or not, adding internal links, images, formatting a bunch of stuff. But it all starts here with, or by choosing your generation mode. You can choose any of these 3. That's it. That's how this works, and I'll catch you on the next one. So let's go over how the simple mode to generate articles works with journalists. It's quite simple, but let's get started. First things first is you have to give it a URL. Now, this is optional, but we highly recommend you do so. So in this case, let's just give it journalist's own URL. Now, second thing is you need to provide a description of your business or website. So in this case, let's do journalist is a web application that allows users to leverage AI to generate high quality content. Journalist also allows users to automatically publish the content they generate to their blogs. Now, this is a bit generic, but the more things you write here, the better the output is going to be. Now, thirdly, and this is something that we do recommend as well, is select include in article images. Now, what this will do is within your article, right? Of course, it's going to have the title, table of contents, H2s, H3s, the content, and then it's going to have images. Now, these in-article images are very, very important. Not only do they give your article a better reader experience, but images also help users understand and guide them through what they're reading. So highly, highly important, and journalist does this automatically for you. Now, second thing is, or fourth thing is, the number of articles you want to generate. It goes from 1 to 20. Of course, let's just do, for example, 1 here. Let's try it out. And then the language. You can create articles in any single language you want, whether that's Portuguese, English, Spanish, Greek. We have 150 plus languages you can choose from that we do recommend you try it out, because there's a lot of markets that are underserved in terms of content where journalists can help out a lot with. So let's just click here on generate, and the article that's going to be generated is based on the info we gave it. So this is the context, which is, of course, our little description. It's going to take into account the URL as well, of course, the language we chose, and the, of course, internal or in-article images are also going to show up. So let's just wait a few seconds for this to generate, and let's show you the results. All right, there we go. There's the featured image. There's, of course, the table of contents, and there's the whole article. Of course, there is some in-article images, and there we go. this is pretty simple. This is exactly how we did it. And of course, there's an internal link as well to journalist.cafe. So pretty straightforward. That's how the simple mode works, right? The simple mode here in the generate articles, you feed it a URL, a description, you choose if you want images or not, the number of articles you want, and of course the language. And that's exactly how it works. And hopefully you like using it. Here's exactly how you can bold important words in your articles. This article is about how to build a rocket, so we bold out rocket building, launching objects into space, and a bunch more keywords that make sense and are relevant and are the main keywords for this topic right here. So let's go over exactly how you can do it. First things first is you go to your generate articles tab and click on preset mode. Now, if you already have a preset created, you can edit your presets in the preset tab. But let's say we don't have one created, so let's click on create preset. Now, we can skip all this up here because these are not important for the formatting, which is what we need. So in the 7th or in the formatting tab, you just click simply on enable bold keywords. Then you go out and create your preset. Of course, to create a preset, you need to have all this set up, which are the generation mode, right? Business description, specific titles, keyword based, the content, the language you want the content in, the creativity levels, the tone of voice, of course, the structure, if you want auto-generated headings or not, internal linking, external linking, images, if you want articles to have images based on these 3 little things, featured image enable, in-article images, and all this. But again, the bolded out images come from the formatting. Sorry, the bolded out words. So once you have that set up, you just click on generate articles, then click on preset mode, select the preset you just created. In this case, mine is my preset, which if you go here to the presets tab real quick and do edit, you'll see that this preset, if I just click on the formatting, has enabled the bold important keywords. So again, if I go to generate articles, preset mode, then select the preset we created, and then click on generate, the article that this is going to generate is going to be about rockets, which is what my preset is set to, is going to bold out the important keywords. And there we go. This is everything you need to build a rocket. And as you can see here, we have the important keywords bolded out that make sense according to what our context is. And that's it. That's exactly how you can have journalists bold out important words.
Hey there. So when you create a new integration, you want to select WordPress, and then if you go to your WordPress and you click on users and profile and you scroll down, you have applications passwords. And here you can put any name. I'll put generate integration. And because I've already given that name, I'll just put another name, X. Just click add, and then I'll be given this password. And I can just copy it, go to journalist, and paste it in the application password. The username is the one you use on WordPress. So the normal username for your login. The WordPress URL is the website URL. So in this case, this one. And the integration name, you can just give it any. So I'll put my cool integration. Then I'll click authorize. And that's pretty much it. It's set up.
I'm going to show you how you can set up an autoblog using journalists. And what an autoblog is a blog where it automatically generates and posts content for you. Content just like this one with featured images, table of contents, H2s, H3s, in-article images like this one, external links, internal links, bold out keywords, and a lot more. Again, a blog that automatically generates and posts the content to it with, of course, the frequency you want. So first things first is you go to the integrations tab right here, and then just click on new integration. Now, as of now, we integrate with WordPress as a CMS blogging platform. So what you do, pretty straightforward, is give it your integration name. Let's do my blog about, or my health blog, right? So here, WordPress URL, we can use this, just do this for test purposes. And now we're going to need 2 things, right, before setting up the integration. The integration is so that journalists can connect with your blog, so it can produce and post content automatically, right? You're going to need the username and the application password. So for that, we're just going to log in here to our test WordPress blog, like so, /WP admin or whatever it is. Once you're logged in, you just go here and click on users, right? And then we have a list of all users. We're going to use this one, which is as the admin role. You need the admin role, otherwise this won't work. And then this is the username, and that's the email. You can choose either one of them, right? The username or the email. You log in with your WordPress. Let's just do admin, right? And there we go. Then second thing you need is the application password. Now, there's a tutorial video here. You can click it to watch the tutorial, right? Pretty straightforward, just paste it here. Now, I do already have a admin password because I already did this integration. So you can see here, that's the integration already done. Click on manage and we see it right here, right? Now, as soon as you insert the application password, this is going to show up, right? With your website, your username that you just added, and your application password, which I'll have to blur right here. Now, once it is set up, you can set up a name for the integration, whatever you want. The author, right? This is going to pull in from all your users down here, right? These users. So when you write a blog post on WordPress, it is posted by someone, right? And we are going to pull all the users right here that you have on your WordPress blog. So you can choose which one you want, posted by the admin, posted by all these ones, right? Let's just do the default, which should be the admin. Now, status. You want to make sure that you choose the one that makes more sense to you. So if you want journalists to automatically publish or set all the articles to publish within WordPress, you select publish. If you want journalists to generate and quote unquote post the articles in draft mode, so then you can go out there on the WordPress site, go on posts right here, and then publish them yourself manually. You can do so as well. Now, I recommend just go with publish because it is more straightforward. Now, time gap between each post, you can do 15 minutes, 1 hour, or 4 hours. So when we set up the number of posts we want published, you can say, journalists, listen, we want to post 100 posts a day, or I guess let's do 50 posts a day, but we want you to space them out 15 minutes each, right? That's how it works, right? This, of course, will depend, or you can just choose no gap and just post them all at once. Then categories, we're going to pull in all the categories that your WordPress blog has. So if you're categorizing your blog posts by category, of course, you can choose just to post them into one category or all the categories, or just one or two or just three, right? You can choose which categories you want to post your articles under. And tags, in this case, this blog does not have any tags, but if you were to have tags, you could just choose them here and then just hit save, right? Pretty straightforward. Now, that's the integration part. How do you actually go out and set up an autoblog? How do you go actually and tell journalists to generate and post the content for you? Just click here on Autoblogs, the Autoblogs tab, and click on Create New Autoblog. Now, this is where the fun begins, right? This is where you can set up the name. Of course, let's just do a test name, right? You can choose a preset, right? And the preset, I have several videos on this. I'll go over this in just a second, which essentially is the preset is exactly the way in which journalist is going to generate content, right? But before that, I mean, you can choose the quantity. You want 20 articles posted every single day, every single week, every single month, right? And of course, you have to select your integration. The one we just created is this one, and then hit active, and then just click create autoblog, right? That's exactly how you integrate with WordPress and how you set up an autoblog to go live. Now, of course, you need to select a preset, and I just select this one, for example. And I do recommend you watch the videos on presets, because if you click here on create a new preset, I won't go over this again, but this is where you give journalists all the info it needs to create content for you, right? And this is very, very important. There are 7 steps here of customization, and you need to nail this down so that the content posted to your WordPress blog is the best of the best. And that's it. That's exactly how you integrate. And then after the integration is set up, so after the journalist is connected with your blog, you can, of course, then set up another blog to have it so the content it is generating is automatically posted to WordPress. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hi there. Today I want to show you how the keyword generation mode works in Journalist. So essentially, you give keywords to us and we generate the content based on the keywords you gave it. So we have the simple mode, we have the titles mode, which this one intakes a URL and a business description. The titles mode intakes different titles, and let's go over the keyword mode. So first things first is you need to click on the generate articles tab and then go to preset mode. Now, we do not have a preset, so we need to go out and create one. So first things first is clicking here on create preset, right? Now let's call this our main preset, right? You can name this whatever you want. Now here is where the fun begins. You can of course have the simple mode, which we call also business description. You can have the specific titles, which was the ones also just referred. And then you can have the keyword base, right? Now you can insert one keyword per line, and all the content that journalist is going to generate is going to be based on the keywords you give it, right? And we'll go over all these little tabs in just a second here, but let's firstly focus on the keyword-based generation. So let's say I wanted to rank an article on how to build rockets. So how to build a rocket, right? Rocket building 101. So I wanted to rank my articles, or I wanted my articles to talk about these specific keywords. Let's do, for example, rocket safety. Let's just do all these three, right? These are enough just to show you how it works. Now, you could go on and create your preset like this and then generate the content based on all this, but just for fun purposes, we can go over all this. Let's, for example, choose language as an English as an English. Let's put the creativity all to max. Let's choose the tone of voice. Let's do academic, which, I mean, you can choose the tonality however you like it. Then structure, you can have it so the headings are written for you, or let journalists do it themselves. Let's just let journalists do it themselves. Then you can set up internal linking and external linking. We'll not do this right now. Images, I do recommend you add featured images in article images. You can choose between these three. We'll toggle this off right now, just for informational purposes. And then formatting, you can choose to bold out important words if you'd like. Now, let's not do any of this linking. Let's not do images. Let's just do straight content articles. Now, I do recommend, of course, that you add images, but for this video purposes, I will not do that. Now, then you go to generate articles and then click on preset mode again. And now we can just select the preset mode we had just created, which was our main preset. And let's just generate an article based on it. Now, this is going to take the intake, which were the keywords, and generate articles and content based on that. Now, of course, all the article you'll see, from the title to the table of contents, to the headings, H2s, H3s, to the images, to the internal links, external links, all that is all going to be based on the keywords you gave it. Now, this article won't have any images, won't have any internal links or external links, because on the preset we just created, we did not set those up. Now you can if you'd like. So let's wait a second here to see how this article will look like. And there we go, that's the article. And if we just type in one of our keywords, let's say rocket safety, as you can see, it is included both in the title, in the headings, sprinkled in throughout the article, and in a way, of course, that makes sense. We do not force any keyword stuffing. All these keywords from all the articles that you just generated are sprinkled in a way that makes sense. This is exactly how you can leverage journalists' keyword mode to generate articles with your keywords in it, so they're a bit more optimized for SEO.